I'm not saying that this was like we were like a 78% black high school. So I don't want to undermine other people that weren't black at my school and what they contributed. But what I'm just saying is that we weren't monolithic in thought because we didn't have to play the tribalism. We were allowed to be us. And I look at, you know, I was able to be captain of the football team and be in the top 10 of my high school class. I was able to hang out with thugged out dudes who told me when it was time to go home and still have the respect of the debate squad and the science team and the theater folks because you were allowed to trade your energies on who you were as an individual and you didn't have to perpetuate the monolith. And in the NBA, which has similar numbers demographically as Westbury High School did, you should allow these things to be part of the larger ecosystem of that league. You know, I watched them perpetuate fashion and all of Russell Westbrook's wacky ass outfits that, you know what I'm saying, and all this drip talk and all these other things. And I watched the league perpetuate the frivolity of Black America. Oh, Dame Lillard got a new mixtape out. And look what Russell Westbrook's doing fashion wise. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool because I love the expression of individualism and the creative people that we can be and we are. But it still perpetuates the idea that we are just sports, entertainment, and fashion. You know what I'm saying? So I welcome, call it misguided if you want, but I welcome a Kyrie Irving to be a preeminent top 25 player in the league, to have some challenging thoughts and ideas about what he believes in. Because if you want to tell me that Dwayne Wade can leave a press conference with a man purse and that's supposed to be fashion forward, then I'm going to listen to this man talk about his flat earth theory. And I might not agree with it, but I'm going to let him talk his junk. You feel what I'm saying? And that's all. So.
Yeah. Okay. So I hear a lot of wisdom in that. I would challenge it by saying, separating the bag, right? I feel like Kyrie comes from where we come from. I only got. I'm not gonna front. I'm actually a lot of California. I'm educated too, but I'm mostly Brooklyn. I came to the suburbs in 11th grade, and it was like the best experience of my life being a Brooklyn kid and coming up, during the crack era. And my parents did a lot of work to try to protect me from that. One of it was, letting me go live in Westbury, Long Island, and I see why Kyrie is the way that he is because of what Long Island afforded me as a suburban black kid.
Yeah.
You could be the best battle rapper in Nassau County, as I was, not joking. But you could be a rapper and an artist and a journalist and a coder. And I think that's why we had such a renaissance of rap records that came out of Long Island. We're talking about, and it's so crazy that this ecosystem touches us because we knew people who was a part of that cipher of Chuck D and
Daylight and EPMD and all these cats. You know what I'm saying? That redefined a genre because you had just
that room
enough
to breathe,
cushion, right? Mm-hmm. That room to breathe to make it happen. You know, and I think that
your hardworking West Indian parents would buy you a mixer or buy you a sampler or allow you to earn
or you had
some turntables.
You had an uncle that had, big sound dreams that never left Queens or Brooklyn that you were just like, hey, my youth, here, take a little thing there and you crib together your own stereo system to get your own sound going. What I'm just saying is that, I'm talking from a larger philosophical debate of I'm not saying either one is right or either one is wrong. What I'm saying is that there is a narrative being pushed that it's everybody's got to be. I came up hard. I didn't know my father. I ducked bullets. I dribbled on a glass strewn basketball court, and this is what I am, and I'm there. And my problem with that lies in the fact that it talks about being more lucky than good. When the exceptions become the rules change and people get fucked up because they're trying to follow rules that are actually exceptions. And what I'm saying to that is, you know, Kyrie grew up, his dad played in Australia and he grew up a little more worldly and whatever is that. And I think we need to take both sides of that narrative and we have to inject that into the larger collective Black experience. That it's more than just, like, who I loved and I thought just wound up in a shit situation and don't make fun of it because it's the Knicks was Channing Frye. Channing Frye got drafted out of Arizona. Channing Frye is the grandson of a Tuskegee Airman, and Channing Frye wound up on.
I love to brag about this. Not to interrupt you, God. I love to brag about this, but Mr. Muzak, Channing Frye's grandfather, is from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. War veteran, friends with my grandpa, Thomas Martin.
Okay.
And so a little, again, like I'm starting to see a direction in what you're saying, and you keep coming up with these things that goes and shows how much Kyrie is kind of one of us. But keep going.
Well, and I looked at Channing Frye wound up on the super thugged out Midwest version of the Knicks. We had like Zebo and Eddie Curry and just all these Isaiah Thomas. They might not be from the South Side of Chicago,
Crawford.
but their family is touched by the culture that came out of that. You know what I'm saying? And I looked at this kid who was just like,
they was bumping Master P in the Knicks. And
I think and that is what's larger of the non-monolithic thought. Like I'm sure Channing Frye tried to do what he had to do, but you know what I'm saying? But he's not pulling up with a trunk of funk at the after a Friday night after practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's fine. And I'm not chastising one side or the other. What we have to have is that duality of thought and idea and understanding that don't let outsiders paint the picture of how you are supposed to think. Because for as much as, I see LeBron serving an agenda. I see Dwayne Wade definitely serving an agenda. You know what I'm saying? I see Melo almost bridging the gap of that. Like, I foresee Carmelo Anthony is going to be his generation's Shaq. He's going to be that guy that everybody gets along with. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I've watched Melo go from, the bling bling era to doing the knowledge to, representing, with that 7 in the crescent. And, and I see how he's there adding on to these young dudes. And, I think all these voices, along with Kyrie, are important to have to help. If the platform of the NBA is going to be Black Lives Matter on the court, if it's going to be the blackest league in America and the globe's most popular, and it's going to set what us as Black Americans do for the world and do for sport and do with our platforms, then you need, as wacky as it sounds, you need the Kyrie Irvings as much as you need all these other voices. Because I look at these people and I see them, whoever has their hand in their pockets or a finger in their ear, but I see them perpetuating what they need to perpetuate that either pays them or reflects what their reality is. And I gotta say that I'm not gonna feel bad for Kyrie Irving. I don't think he's being unfairly picked on. Kiss my ass, you're making $30 million a year, $50 million a year. I'm never gonna feel bad for you because Mickey Mantle doesn't pay my rent. But I just think there's a energy from sports media that tries to define blackness, and Kyrie Irving upsets that apple cart for them.
You know what? I've never looked at it that way. See, that's why I love building with you, God, because when you need friends who tell you the truth, right? And I worry for Kyrie that he doesn't have friends that tells him the truth. That he just has a circle of yes men. That there should have been someone around Kyrie that would have said, "Yo, look, just do this quick Zoom call, get it out the way. Right now, nobody's really paying attention to you. There's all these trade rumors.
Yeah,
You can
but
just
but
do
like,
this Zoom call right quick, get these
but
bozos their sound bites, and keep it moving."
yeah, but yes and no. And you know what? It is easier to just kind of do it and keep it moving. But I look at another one of your beloved soldiers / asshole, Spencer Dinwiddie. You know what I'm saying? And he tried his whole let me try to remonetize my contract.
No,
As
see, I
no,
gotta stop you there because Spencer's actually really smart.
I'm not saying he's not smart. What I'm just saying is that you have to allow other people to think differently. Allow them to stumble. Allow them to be laughed at. Allow them to be ridiculed. But who is doing the ridiculing, and understand who's giving you your marching orders to either laugh or support that person? That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
And I agree with you so much on that. Like I'll take 10 Kyries on my team over one James Harden. Like
if you are a pencil pushing jock sniffer who never laced him up beyond your youth league when you were 10, you're not going to tell me what it feels like to be in that person and the thoughts that have gotten me to that when you back me in the corner and ask me something beyond the sport that I'm playing. If you want to engage in that conversation, then you have to be prepared and accepting of all those answers that I give you. That's all I'm saying. Whether right, wrong, or indifferent. Because I look at it, and to kind of go on a larger level, nobody asked Tom Brady what he was doing in the election, right? Nobody asked.
They did.
Yeah, but he's not deciding as a spokesperson for 25 million people in this country.
I
see
know,
what I'm saying?
But white athletes don't have that burden. White athletes.
So if you're trying to achieve quote unquote equality in all of this, you know what I'm saying? If you want my life to matter, then my thoughts should matter. You know what I'm saying? If you want my persona and the sweat off my brow that pays all these bills, and you want to make me more than just an athlete, as somebody had a whole line of sneakers that came out and said, then you cannot besmirch my thoughts if they're different from what you feel. You have to understand that. You asked me that question. If you want me to shut up and dribble, then let's talk about the game. If you want to ask me how I feel about the world, then you can't mock me for the questions that you put out there for me to answer.
Okay. You see that I can't even refute. I again, my thing and my only thing is, as someone who thinks of himself delusionally, irrationally, but I think of myself as a man of science. I think of myself as maybe not an academic, but at least someone who's intellectually curious. And I give Kyrie a lot of credit for being intellectually curious. My concern is the post-facts nation where people are believing these ideas that have no clinical studies, that have no, academic rigor, It's just
All right,
basically
so
people spitting gems